Hi everyone, I'm Jessica with MyComputerCareer, and today we're sitting down with our Director of Student Success, Jeff Marrero. So Jeff, tell us a little bit about the Student Success Department. What do you guys do, and what are your responsibilities?
Yeah, that's a really fun question that you're asking. So, in regards to what student success in the department does, when I go to describe it to anyone else, it's really simple. We're essentially the academic advisors. We're the coaches for our students. I always give the example is our students come in, they're coming at a certain level. We want to make sure that we're helping them progress. So we want to coach them along the way and be able to be a guide for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. So who is eligible to work with Student Success?
So it's any live online student, but we are hoping to come to a ground campus near you. The cool thing about the eligibility though is that you're eligible from the whole duration of your program. We're with you from start to end.
Great. So you guys help the students, when they fall behind or when they're in danger of withdrawing from the program. And so what kind of makes that happen for a student?
So when we're talking about what causes our students to fall behind, it's really on an individual basis, but there are general things that we see, and we know that the speed of the program, right, the pace of it, can cause a lot of our students to fall behind. But there's supports in place. There's supports there, and we want to make sure that we're helping them to keep up.
That's awesome. So you guys are helping them with life situations like their students' busy schedules, their kids, working and balancing, having a career and going to school. So how do you guys help them in that regard?
Okay. So for us, and really looking at stressors and thinking about the individual, it's really focusing in on what exactly is the case at hand, right? What's the situation? But also it comes down to understanding who our students are. That's why one of the best and most rewarding things about being a success coordinator is the fact that they get to build a rapport with our students. They get to really understand who our students are. That way they're able to really pinpoint and help with when the stressors come up. Now, we can't get rid of all the stressors. We can't always help with all the financials. We can't change when someone has a really busy schedule or when they have to balance life, work, school, kids, whatever it is. But what we can do is we can help them figure it out a little bit more. We can help them demystify it a little bit. So for us, it's like, how can we get our students to win for whatever situation they're presenting to us.
So with all of these different students who have all these different stressors and situations, how do you guys determine the next steps for each individual student?
So it ties back into the idea that for an individual, it's about focusing on the individual, right? No two cases are going to be the same, even though they might seem very similar. And it comes down to the idea that it's a unique perspective that they're bringing forth, right? So we want to honor that perspective, and we want to make sure we're working from that perspective. So for us, it's about coming up with individual plans and seeing what exactly it is that this student needs to get them to where they need to go. Something that we like to highlight and talk about frequently, not only with our department, but also with our students, is the fact that we focus in on having a growth mindset. So it doesn't matter if you're taking one step or you're taking 10. For us, it's about making sure we're making some type of progress and that the progress is happening consistently.
As you talk a lot about the individual student and getting to understand them, but can you kind of tell me about one time that you guys saved a student from withdrawing?
Yeah, again, it comes down to the unique situation that you're in, but to give you one particular student, we actually had this come up last week. And it's been a theme, especially with where we are currently with the pandemic. Many of our students are also parents, and balancing up life and also being a parent and a teacher now, it's extremely difficult. We want to acknowledge that. So in this particular case, we had a student and she had a few kids, and all the kids were working remote or going to school remotely. So she had to take on the role of not only being a parent, but also being essentially the teaching assistant and making sure that her students for her kids were getting what they needed. And that was really hard to manage between having that and having to be in class, having to be in her live lectures. So in order to help her we just helped her set up a regular flex time. So for us, flex is our tutoring with her instructor mentor. Then we checked in on her, making sure she was making those appointments essentially, just to make sure she didn't fall too behind, even though she was already feeling a little bit overwhelmed with everything that was going on. She was attending regularly after she spoke with her SC, her success coordinator. And yeah, it didn't solve the issue that she had at hand with having to work with her students remotely or work with her kids remotely. But it definitely helped to alleviate some of that pressure, knowing that whenever she missed something in class, there was someone there who was going to help and support her along the way.
That's awesome. So on top of all these different life stressors, I know that you guys often handle a lot of students who have physical disabilities or learning disabilities. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So when a student identifies that they have some kind of disability, right? We want to make sure we're working with them. We have a whole team that not only reviews it, meets with the student and talks to them about what options are. But we have a lot of those supports already built in place, which we're proud of. Like I was mentioning earlier, we really pride ourselves on the fact that support is available. And just because you have a disability or you don't, doesn't mean it's not going to be there. It's always there. So in one particular case, we had a student who was visually impaired, and being visually impaired, it brings a whole onslaught of different issues that you have to encounter and face. Working with the screen reader and making sure that the content is accessible, right? In this particular case, we had a student came in, he was visually impaired, and it was a new experience for one of our success coordinators. But the most important thing is that between her and the student and the instruction team, they were communicating so effectively, and she was working with the student. I feel like she was on the phone with him every single day, and it was really great to see because you just saw so much progress happening. So the reason why they were on the phone so consistently was the fact that the screen reader does suffice for a lot of what we offer. It does wonders, and we're really grateful for technology, but technology does have its limitations. So where those limitations were, we had someone there who was in place to help fill that gap. So I'm really grateful for Emily and all the work she did with this particular student, because he was on the top of his class, and because of all the work that they did as a group, he graduated top of his class. He's doing really well, and he's honestly trying to start his own business. So we're really proud of him, and we continue to hope to see the best.
That is an incredible story to hear. You guys had a student who was visually impaired and still managed to graduate the top of his class with the help of your team. And so to me, that sounds like success. But I kind of want to know from you, what does success look like, and how successful is your team?
Yeah, so we can talk about metrics. We are successful with our metrics. But for us, success is when people are graduating, when people are being placed, right? When they're actually accomplishing what they set out to do. But it doesn't just end there. For us, success is also when someone brings us an issue and we're able to resolve that issue. We care about our students. It's in our core values. We want to be customer first. We want to do everything with love. And we know if our students are getting to where they need to go, that means we've been showing them real love. So, but yeah, let's just emphasize, we're definitely doing a good job. We're good at what we do as a school. So definitely don't want to downplay that.
So when you talk about these students who have physical disabilities, learning disabilities, life challenges, I'm thinking about all the students that we hear who don't think that they're smart enough to pursue an IT education. So what would you say to that potential student who thinks that they can't complete our program?
So I don't sugarcoat it. I don't like to give false expectations. It's not going to be easy. And this program is not supposed to be easy. But many things in life that are worthwhile aren't easy. It really comes down to what you put into it. Now, if you are someone who has struggled in the past and you struggle with academics, just know, like I've been saying earlier, there's a team there who wants to work with you. But it really comes down to the effort that you put in, how much you want this. We can't want this for you, but we sure do show that we're going to be there to push it, to help you along the entire way. And communication is key for us. I honestly believe our students communicating with us is really what makes or breaks this experience. We like to over communicate, but it's because we're looking out for our students. And yeah, as difficult as it may seem, just know it's really what you put into it, and just know we're here for you too.
Really inspiring to hear about you. And so I kind of want to know, when you were in school or in your career, have you ever worked for a school with a department that provides these kind of services that our student success team does?
In the manner that we provide them, no, but I do want to acknowledge that there's a lot of great stuff that's happening out there, right? With my past experience, we were a really innovative school, and it was really cool to see all the things that were in place. But to see what's happening at the post-secondary level, and to see what we're doing, what we're trying to implement, what we're really trying to do for our students in terms of support, it's really great. It's unique to us, and not to say it can't be replicated. Honestly, power to anyone who wants to copy us, because that means we're doing good stuff. But yeah, it's a really cool place to be, because it's a place where people care. And it's a place where people are seeking to get better at what we do. So we're here because we care. We're here because we want to support our students, and just know, like, where we were 3 years ago to where we were a year ago to where we are right now, it's all been progress, and it's just going to continue. So I'm excited I've been always excited for our graduates and for our active students, but I'm also excited for what's to come.
So how can our students get in touch with Student Success right now?
Yeah, so you're always welcome to reach out to us via email at studentsuccess@mycomputercareer.edu. But just know we're not here during the weekends, so we will get back to you on Monday as soon as possible. I see all the emails as well, so just know we seek not to miss anything. We want to hear from you, and we want to work with you. To us, we find joy in working with our students, and we want to continue doing it. So just know we're always available, and we'll make sure we answer during business hours.
So you say you want to hear from our students, but for my last question, I want them to hear from you. What would you say to a MyCC student who's watching this at home right now and struggling with their courses?
Just know they're not alone, and it could feel very lonely, especially it being so remote. But just know there is a whole team out there, and there are other people who are struggling too. But we want to help you get out of that phase, right? We want you to get you out of that hole, and it's possible. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you're willing to work with us, or if you're willing to connect and communicate, and I stress the communication, we'll help you figure it out. And we'll help you make that progress and help you take that step. Like I said earlier, it's about having a growth mindset, and it's not going to happen overnight, but if you're willing to work with us, we'll get you where you need to go.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff, for sitting down and talking with me today. I am so excited for you guys and for your team and all of our students to get to work with you. It sounds like you guys have a really amazing department going, and you get to work on such challenging and interesting problems. So yeah, thank you so much. Hope to see you in the office again sometime soon.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. And just know, if you ever need us, you know where to find us. And yeah.
And thank you everybody for watching. This is Jessica with My Computer Career.